From floating over Pandora on the back of a banshee to rocketing through the grid on TRON Lightcycle Run, Walt Disney World is packed with rides that mix nostalgia, storytelling, and pure adrenaline. Some are classics dreamed up by Walt himself. Others are cutting-edge experiences pushing technology to the limit. But with 4 parks and dozens of attractions, how do you decide what's worth the wait? Today at Land of Tomorrow, we're diving into the top 10 rides at Disney World, Florida that truly stand out in 2025. We start the list with Kilimanjaro Safaris. Over in the African section of Animal Kingdom, Kilimanjaro Safaris has been taking guests across the Harambe Wildlife Reserve since the park opened in 1998. Once you board your open-air safari truck, you'll set out on an 18-minute expedition through sprawling savannas, dense forests, and winding rivers. The ride isn't staged. Real animals roam freely, so every trip is different. You might spot giraffes wandering just feet from your vehicle, elephants splashing at watering holes, or lions stretching out on rocky ledges. In recent years, new baby animals, including elephants and young lion siblings, have joined the reserve, making sightings even more special. With no height restrictions, Kilimanjaro Safaris remains one of Disney's most authentic, family-friendly adventures, offering something new every single ride. Next is Haunted Mansion. Tucked into Liberty Square, the Haunted Mansion has been welcoming foolish mortals since Magic Kingdom's opening day in 1971. Your journey begins in the foreboding queue, winding past crypts and humorous tombstones, before you step inside the iconic stretching room where the disembodied ghost host sets the tone.
The Haunted Mansion. I am your host, your ghost host.
From there, you board a doom buggy and glide through eerie hallways, dusty parlors, and endless corridors lined with ghostly illusions. You'll encounter Madame Leota conducting a seance, spectral ball dancers, and the famous hitchhiking ghosts eager to follow you home. The effects, some dating back decades, others recently updated like the Hatbox Ghost, blend seamlessly to create a spooky yet playful experience. With no height restrictions, this dark ride is accessible for nearly all ages. At number 8, we have Pirates of the Caribbean. In Adventureland, Pirates of the Caribbean has been sailing guests into swashbuckling chaos since 1973, 6 years after Disneyland's original. You begin in a dark forest before boarding boats for an 8-minute voyage. A small drop carries you into Dead Man's Cove, where skeletal warnings set the tone. Soon, you're in the middle of a seaside raid, dodging cannon fire, floating past drunken buccaneers, and spotting Jack Sparrow slipping into treasure. While it's shorter than the one at California, the Florida version still delivers atmosphere, humor, and danger. Average waits run 20 to 25 minutes, making it one of Magic Kingdom's enduring classics. At number 7 is Space Mountain. Inside Tomorrowland's iconic dome, Space Mountain has launched guests through the stars since 1975. The queue sets the stage with neon tunnels and galactic projections before you board rockets seated single file. Suddenly, you're hurled into darkness, twisting through sharp turns and sudden drops. At just 28 miles per hour, it's slower than you think, but the pitch-black environment makes it feel twice as fast. Florida's rougher single-track version contrasts Disneyland's smoother 2-track design, but fans embrace the unpredictability. With average waits around an hour, this is one of Disney's most re-rideable thrill classics. Next up is the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. At the end of Sunset Boulevard, the Tower of Terror has haunted Hollywood studios since 1994. Guests pass through a rotting courtyard and dusty lobby before the library reveals the ride's chilling Twilight Zone backstory. From there, the boiler room leads to service elevators that rise into surreal visions, ghostly apparitions, hallways disappearing, before plunging into randomized drops. The stomach-floating freefalls and changing sequences keep it fresh each ride. While other Disney parks have rethemed their towers, Florida's remains tied to the Twilight Zone, making it one of the resort's most atmospheric and unpredictable thrill rides. Current average waits hover around 43 minutes. At number 5 is Expedition Everest. Dominating Animal Kingdom skyline since 2006, Expedition Everest immerses guests in a Himalayan village before boarding trains bound for the Forbidden Mountain. The climb reveals snowy peaks until the trek suddenly ends, torn apart by the Yeti. The train careens backward into darkness, spiraling into a dizzying helix before plunging down its steepest 50-mile-per-hour drop. At the finale, you encounter the massive Yeti himself, still lunging in his disco mode spotlight due to his long-standing technical issues. With waits off in 45 to 70 minutes, this coaster remains Animal Kingdom's signature blend of storytelling, setting, and high-speed thrills. Number 4 is TRON Lightcycle Run. Opening in 2023, TRON Lightcycle Run brings Tomorrowland a sleek, high-speed race through the digital grid. The queue digitizes riders with glowing effects before you straddle a light cycle, leaning forward like on a futuristic motorcycle. After a dramatic countdown, you're launched at nearly 60 miles per hour beneath the glowing canopy, especially stunning at night when neon pulses overhead. The ride dives into the gravity building, where projections surround you in a battle of Team Blue versus rogue programs. At just about a minute long, it's one of Disney's shortest coasters, but also its fastest. Bags must be stored in free lockers, and seats can be tight, though adaptive seating is available. Riders must be over 48 inches tall, so if you have kids, you might want to plan ahead. Coming into the top 3 now is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. Since 2019, Rise of the Resistance has been Hollywood Studios' crown jewel, combining multiple ride systems into one seamless Star Wars adventure. Guests join the Resistance, winding through caves before a briefing with BB-8 and Rey.
Recruits, thank you for joining the calls.
But the mission is a trap. You're captured and marched into a massive Star Destroyer hangar, complete with rows of stormtroopers. From there, you board trackless vehicles for a daring escape, dodging blaster fire, weaving beneath towering AT-ATs, and facing Kylo Ren himself.
For you and the Resistance.
The finale even includes a small drop as your escape pod launches back to Batuu. At nearly 20 minutes, including pre-shows, it's one of Disney's most ambitious rides, though frequent breakdowns and 2+ hour waits are common. At number 2 is Avatar: Flight of Passage. In Pandora, the world of Avatar: Flight of Passage has been the crown jewel of Animal Kingdom since 2017. The queue itself is a journey, winding past waterfalls, Na'vi caves, and even a massive animatronic avatar floating in a lab tank. After linking with your own avatar, you straddle a ride vehicle shaped like a banshee and put on 3D goggles. Suddenly, you're soaring over the alien landscapes of Pandora, through lush forests, across bioluminescent caves, and diving into oceans where massive creatures swim below. The sensation is so real, you can feel the banshee breathe against your legs. At nearly 5 minutes long, it's one of Disney's most immersive simulators, though motion sickness can be a factor. Average waits often exceed 2 hours, making a Lightning Lane reservation highly coveted. And finally, the #1 ride at Disney World in 2025 is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Opened in 2022, Cosmic Rewind is Epcot's first true thrill coaster and one of Disney's most ambitious. The queue begins at the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion, with exhibits and a pre-show featuring Nova Corps officers, and a cameo from Terry Crews. Once on board, your ride vehicle rotates smoothly to face the action, starting with a reverse launch into space at nearly 60 miles per hour. Massive screens surround you as you chase villains across galaxies, guided by the Guardian's humor. Each ride is paired with one of 6 classic 70s or 80s songs, making it different every time. At over 3 minutes long, it's one of Epcot's longest and most popular attractions, with waits often topping 2 hours. So there it is, 10 rides that define Disney World in 2025. Of course, your favorites might not match mine, and that's the beauty of Disney. Every trip feels personal. What ride tops your list? Let us know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to subscribe to Land of Tomorrow for more Disney guides, stories, and deep dives. Until next time, see you in the parks.